if you can remember, oops. Hello, everyone. It's Neil Kilbey, and if you can remember,
yeah,
Peter Schmitz. Yes,
indeed.
Right. Okay. Today, I wanted to run through a topic that we've gone through a few times, but its importance is so incredibly high that I've got no problems in repeating it at all. Which is about cost of customer acquisition, and fundamentally, it's a number that most people don't have down and know for certain about their business, and it is just so important to know it, because otherwise you can't make proper marketing decisions.
Well, what in the world is it then, if it's so important? You have not said.
Well, it's the cost of customer acquisition. Okay. And that is, how much does it cost you to get a new customer on average? And the important factor is that the next factor is, how much is each customer worth? So you know how much to spend for each one.
Well, now, are those two different things? Cost of acquisition and what a customer is worth?
Yes, but if you spend more on customer acquisition than the customer's worth, you are rapidly getting to the scene of an accident.
Yes, you are. So to put it in numbers, if a customer is worth $500 a year and you spend $100 to get them, you're okay. What you're saying, if a customer is worth $500 a year and you spend $500 to get them, you're, would you say, rapidly on a course of collision?
Well, no. I mean, that's because if it depends how long you keep the customer for. If you're keeping an average customer for 1 year and it costs you $500 to get an average customer, and the average customer is worth $500, then we're busy fools, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Okay. And if you're spending more than $500 to get a customer that is worth less than $500, then we are getting to the scene of an accident, and we're working hard to achieve it.
All right. And if that customer is good for 10 years at $500 a year, and I spend $500 to get them, now there's no more accident.
No, you're in a situation where after a year, you are running for free effectively in terms of cost of customer acquisition. Okay,
but your point is the business owner needs to know those numbers, and most of them do not.
I would say most of them, by a huge percentage difference, don't know what their cost of customer acquisition. I am pretty sure that you'd be hard pressed to have somebody that you can speak to on the first time and they will tell you what their cost of customer acquisition is, and never mind the lifetime value of a customer.
It's a common question on Shark Tank, for example. You know, Mark Cuban will say, "What does it cost to get a customer?" And most of the people don't have a hard number.
No, and that's it's also very difficult for a new business to have a hard number, or if you're transitioning to have a hard number. Mm-hmm. So, but what we need to be is just aware of that there is a cost, and that we're going to spend some money to get new customers. And we need to be aware of it. In all truthfulness, if you've got an ongoing customer out of what you do, in general, most people aren't spending enough to acquire them. That's my experience. Is that if you're I'm speaking to somebody who's a potential client who's in janitorial services, they may have a client for 5 or 6 years, okay, and the only reason they leave is because they move out or whatever. And so the cost of customer acquisition is then spread over the 5 years.
So what you're saying is many business owners could spend more to acquire a customer because they can afford to.
It depends on what the business is, but we need to know the figures. But in general, I think you'll find that anybody that has a repetitious business, repeat sales, I don't find them actually investing enough in getting those new clients.
Yeah, no, they think they can spend $50 when they could spend, like you said, in this case, your janitorial service, probably $500.
Yeah, without hesitation. Yeah, and you know, the cost of having a meaningful conversation with somebody. So if and what I mean by that is that you're speaking to a potential client in the belief that you may actually be able to get that business with them, has a genuine value, and that's worth investing in for each one, because you will then know the process. If you have 10 conversations, you expect to get one customer out of it. And so therefore the cost of a meaningful conversation can then be factored in.
Yeah, it's a challenge for small business owners because unless they're spending money, hard cash, like on advertising, they don't allocate their time as a cost to acquiring a new customer. Even though, a business owner spends 3, 4, 5 hours preparing and making a presentation, that costs the business something.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not hard cash, but it is something. It's time.
Absolutely. And there are many different factors, such as a lot of small business owners just do not, as you say, put in their own time, their own contacts, the retention of customers as important factors. They do it, but they just don't put a price to it.
Right. So, well, you're on something. It'll be interesting to see how your janitorial prospect turns out.
Well, I'm very happy that we're having a good conversation, but that's a different story. But Peter, thank you very much, because it is such an important figure to understand, is what the cost of customer acquisition is and what the lifetime value of a customer is. Absolutely. So that you can make properly beneficial decisions for the business. And a lot of the times people, they don't have those figures in their head. Yeah. And normally the disparity between the lifetime value of a customer and the cost of getting a new customer is so big. E.g., you get so much bang for your buck, okay, but people just focus on the cost and not the fact that they're going to have that customer for 5 or 6 years. And that's where the big opportunities are. Peter, thank you so much. I have one of my newer rants, and we'll catch up with everybody tomorrow.
Sounds good.